Hello, this video is brought to you by my supporters on Patreon. Minasan, arigatou gozaimasu. My name is Kurt, and it's October 31st, 2023, Halloween day. This is my Good Life meditation, an exercise that I do every morning a little bit after waking up. It's now 4:40 a.m. right on the nose. I do this to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. You can get a copy of the book from the link down below in the description. I recommend the hardcover edition. I also use this time to remember the last 24 hours and to think about how I did with the various challenges and opportunities that I met, including during my sleep. I then plan for the coming day and then ready myself for death. But I like to always begin with a poem. And sticking with Keats, we're tackling one of his probably top 5 poems, maybe the top 3 poems, Ode to a Nightingale. This will be our second time to pass through it. This time I'm going to cover the vocabulary that I didn't understand the first time. First, the word dryad. A dryad is a nymph. It also refers to a beautiful young woman. Another is a hippocrane, and that's a spring for the spring water for the muses back in the ancient tradition. Bacchus is a god of wine, and he was pulled in his chariot by leopards, which were called pards. So when the sentence here, not charioted by Bacchus and his pards, mean not being carried away so grandly. Poesy means poetry. Phase is a word for fairy, but it also in this case refers to stars clustered in the sky like fairies. Eglantine, I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong. Eglantine is a rose, namely the sweetbriar rose found in the English countryside. And then the last word here is casement, which is a swinging window that swings out. So think of it as a metaphorical opening to something. So let's take a pass at the poem. It's kind of a long one. Ode to a Nightingale. My heart aches, and a drowsy numbness pains my sense, as though of hemlock I had drunk, or emptied some dull opiate to the drains. 1 minute passed, and lithe wards had sunk. 'Tis not through envy or thy happy lot, but being too happy in thine happiness, that thou, light-winged dryad of the trees, in some melodious plot of beechen green and shadows numberless, singest of summer in full-throated ease. Oh, for a draught of vintage that hath been cooled a long age in the deep-delved earth, tasting of flora and the country green, dance and provincial song and sunburnt mirth. Oh, for a beaker full of the warm south, full of the true, the blushful hippocrene, with beaded bubbles winking at the brim, and purple-stained mouth, that I might drink and leave the world unseen, and with thee fade away into the forest dim. Fade far away, dissolve, and quite forget that thou among the leaves hast never known the weariness, the fever, and the fret, here where men sit and hear each other groan, where palsy shakes a few sad last gray hairs, where youth grows pale and spectre thin and dies. Oh, I wonder if he's talking about his brother there. Where but to think is to be full of sorrow, and leaden-eyed despairs, where beauty cannot keep her luster eyes, or new love pine at them beyond tomorrow. Oh my gosh, this really is good. Second time did the trick. I didn't understand the poem at all the first time. Away, away, for I will fly to thee, not charioted by Bacchus and his pards, but on the viewless wings of poesy. Though the dull brain perplexes and retards, already with thee tender is the night, and haply the queen moon is on her throne, clustered around by all her starry fays. But here there is no light, save what from heaven is with the breezes blown through verdurous glooms and windy mossy ways. I cannot see what flowers are at my feet, nor what soft incense hangs upon the boughs, but in embalmed darkness guess each sweet wherewith the seasonable month endows the grass, the thicket, and the fruit tree wild, white hawthorn and the pastoral eglantine, fast fading violets covered up in leaves, and mid-May's eldest child, the coming musk rose full of dewy wine, the murmurous haunt of flies on summer eves. Darkling I listen, and for many a time I have been half in love with easeful death, called him soft names in many a mused rhyme to take into the air my quiet breath. Now more than ever seems it rich to die, to cease upon the midnight with no pain, while thou art pouring forth thy soul abroad in such ecstasy. Still wouldest thou sing, and I have ears in vain to thy high requiem become a sod? Thou wast not born for death, immortal bird. No hungry generations tread thee down. The voice I hear this passing night was heard in ancient days by emperor and clown, perhaps the self-same song that found a path through the sad heart of Ruth, when, sick for home, she stood in tears amid the alien corn, the same that ofttimes hath charmed magic casements opened on the foam of perilous seas in fairylands forlorn. Forlorn, the very word is like a bell to toll me back from thee to my soul self. Adieu, the fancy cannot cheat so well as she is famed to do, deceiving elf. Adieu, adieu, thy plaintive anthem fades past the near meadows, over the still stream, up the hillside, and now 'tis buried deep in the next valley glades. Oh, was it a vision or a waking dream? Fled is that music. Do I wake or sleep? All right, this poem is coming to me now. I see it. He's his ears have been assaulted by the sound of the nightingale, the song of the nightingale, whose perfection lies in stark contrast to the trials of life. And he makes that contrast of the song like the goddess, the muse singing in reverence of life, of perfection. Well, meanwhile, we mortals, those of us who live on the earth, man and beast, struggle and suffer and die. Let's read that again tomorrow. Third time might be the charm. All right, let's get on with the good life. First, last night and yesterday. I slept pretty good last night. I was up about an hour before the alarm went off and kind of in and out of sleep, thinking about nothing in particular. Wasn't worried about work. I was just laying there awake. Kind of that same that same wakefulness that comes in the months leading up to a big life change. So it's appropriate, although it's more than a year away, although only half a year away for the big change of my wife and daughter leaving. Otherwise, yesterday was a good day, another solid day of work. I'm having one solid day of work after another. They're hard, but when I have a good day of work, I feel good. Nothing in particular to share otherwise from yesterday. Let's do the good life. My 8 objectives are as follows. Number 1, to be always ready to die. 2, to make good and effective use of time. 3, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. 4, to cultivate good emotional reactions. 5, to perform good actions. 6, to recognize my true limits and my true opportunities. 7, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly, deliberately, and carefully. And 8, to keep my balance. And now my 35 principles are war, reason, homunculus, anchor hold, home of good and evil, purpose, atomic principle, principle of nature, the pirate ride, maturity, the social principle, the principle of family, public speaking, temperance, life will not go well, the horror show, that which must be borne, the feast of woeful, distraction, agency and the great indifference, the best seat in the house, the restless man, the path of wildness, the great life adventure, the risk of avoiding risk, sin and damnation, complete oblivion, the season of philosophy, script writing, the bullseyeing, the uphill climb, arena and utility, nothing is enough, the principle of fun, and being prepared. Now as for today, it's a Tuesday, standard day of work. I have like 5 or 6 meetings. I'm leading most of those meetings, all but one I think. And I'm ready. My agendas are set. I'm ready to march. Carry on. Nothing other than that. Just do my normal stuff in my work. Do my duty. Do my job. That's it for that. Am I ready for death? Well, are my affairs in order? They sure are. They're over there in that file cabinet. All my documents and papers are set. All the retirement savings are in place. The pension is in place. Social Security is in place. If I die, my wife is taking care of her life. If she dies, I'm taking care of her life. If we both live, we both taking care of our life. So we're in good shape. We just have to count down the days now. Yeah. So affairs are in order. Emily's, we have one more payment to do on Emily's university, and we'll take care of that. Next 6 months are going to be a challenge. Yeah, financially. But after that, we'll be fine. Of course, then we can be robbed in a moment by bad health. I mean, just like the nightingale. The nightingale sings on, but we all suffer nonetheless. So I'm that part, but that part, the affairs are in order. Are the relationships as sound as they possibly could be? Yes. Is my life's work complete? Yes. So even if I, die now, I'm fine. All that stuff's done. Folks will be taken care of. There's no one left to say I love you too, and my book is written. I can go in. I can leave now without a single backwards glance. I don't want to, but I can. I'm hoping that the best part is yet to come. We'll see. I guess I'll finish. I wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care. I will move forward and up. I will rarely stop, and I will never